What on crap thing? Look out, crack! Here I come!
He's Tyrone.
We get crack at the end?
Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? AMC Bigums here. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Today I want to go ahead and show everybody how I believe they are able to lower short interest without the price actually reflecting on that. And I just want to show everybody also the way that they're able to create these synthetic shares. And I don't think many people have talked about it at all. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. There's a lot of information to get into. We're going to talk today about continuous net settlement, the CNS program. It hides billions of counterfeit shares that never make it to the reg show radar screen, as the shares are borrowed from the DTC and are treated like legitimate borrowed shares. For companies that are under attack, these counterfeit shares that are created by the CNS program are thought to be 10 or 20 times the disclosed fail to deliver amounts, and the true CNS totals are only obtained by successfully serving the DTC with a subpoena. X clearing and CNS counterfeiting are used to create an enormous reserve of counterfeit shares. The industry refers to these as strategic fails to deliver. Most people refer to this as a stockpile of counterfeit shares that can be used for market manipulation. And just to make sure you're still listening here, this is a questionnaire actually with the SEC, and they're talking about the CNS program and these things called buy-ins. And basically what a buy-in is if you get T plus 3 days to return these. And if you don't do that in the T plus 3 days, you get what they call as a buy-in. And basically it's like them saying, hey, you have to give us this right now, okay? Well, market makers may maintain temporary short positions in CNS until such times as there is significant trading to flatten out their position. I also wanted to show everybody, where is it here? Shares by the CNS also act similarly to naked shorts. That has no effect on the issuer's total outstanding shares. So this is how they basically, like I said, they can take shares out of this. And this is why people are saying that they create these phantom shares. Now, let's go back down here. The NSE does not have the authority to execute buy-ins on behalf of its members. Moreover, forcing closeouts on all the fails. It doesn't want to. So basically, they're like, no, we can't. We could tell them to, but we can't force them to, because they don't want to potentially interfere with trading and the pricing of securities. They don't want people buying in more because suddenly the stock's going up after they've made it go down by taking out, more, shares here. Just a joke, but let's go ahead and get back into this. So I want to go ahead and talk about those buyouts. Basically, this talks about those buyouts down here, and they're supposed to do these buy-ins if you're over the T plus 3 position. So if you remain longer, then if the position remains unfilled, they're supposed to instruct the member, hey, you have to buy this position. And SEC has no authority under SEC rules to force them to do a buy-in. DTC officials have explained that approximately 6,000 notices of intentions to buy are filled each day, with approximately 20 resulting in execution. So basically, they're not even bothering with them. They're just like, I'll just keep taking them. Now, what I want to talk about is netting, just so everybody can get a picture, because everybody likes pictures and just learns better with pictures. So basically, imagine this used to be the stock market. So you had all these brokers, trying to communicate with each other, they're on the phone, computer, all this crazy stuff going back and forth all over the place. Well, what they did is made the DTC a giant vault. Basically, like, all right, here's all the shares, here's all the real shares, and basically when these guys have surpluses of shares, basically, aka these IOUs, they'll pop one in. And here, we can go ahead and show you this with the netting. They'll go ahead and put their surplus of their shares into this bank, is what they say they do, and then this person's supposed to withdraw from this bank, and then they just directly pay that person. And basically the same thing here. These two can go ahead and deposit into this to cover this guy's in that position, and round and round and round it can go. Well, as you guys saw before, as they're doing that, it's not on the books. So it's a way to cover positions without covering position, it sounds like. Well, If you also go to the Smith on stocks, like I said, I'll post all these on the bottom too as well, so everybody can go ahead and read all these. These subsidiaries continuously called net settlement, continuous net settlement, and a stock buying program to facilitate efficient liquid markets and securities while essentially smooth functioning markets. These two programs have loopholes which facilitate illegal negative shorting because they can go ahead and take out one of these shares and then they can go ahead and borrow it into a stock borrowing program to somebody that can borrow, into a retail customer that can borrow that into another one. So, just more loopholes, more loopholes. I always loopholes with the DTC. I don't want to get too into that as well. But I want to go ahead and talk about some more benefits. So if you actually go on the DTC website, you can actually pull up the CNS program. This is the CNM system that I was talking about with the CNS members. This goes ahead and talks about the way that it works. But what I want to show you guys, who can use it. I'll show you all that at the end too. How the service works, definitely we'll read that off quick, but some of the benefits that I really want to show you guys that here's another exclusion. While CNS deliveries are made automatically into the depository position, so basically, like this, so when they take this out, it deposits it into their account. That's for that specific person. Sorry about that. Members can exempt certain short positions. Members can exempt short positions to avoid segregation violations and effectively meet other delivery needs. So like market makers are using that and they're actually able to use exemptions on certain short positions as well if they need those shares to deliver those shares to other people that are buying them. Closing failed positions are marked to market daily and renetted with new transactions. Through CNS becomes the counterparty, so all trades are guaranteed each transaction under the rules. Regardless of volume, CNS net members' security obligations on a daily basis go down to one long net and one short position. So basically, to save them money, instead of going through all the venues, buying this, that, they can go straight into this thing, and then they don't have any costs. They don't have all those additional costs to sit there and move this over and over and over, because, they got to save those pennies. They're already not making enough by taking out money, taking these shares out and screwing us with those. They got to make sure they save those pennies as well. It's just hilarious. But I always look at Investopedia if you ever want to look at any kind of stock information. It's an amazing, amazing tool. So it also talks about the continuous net settlement program, but basically talks about everything that I went into as well so far. But let's go ahead and let's take a look quick at the members that are actually involved in this program. So as you can see, you got Virtue Americas, you got a whole bunch, of these people that are constantly having tons of these services, tons of these services. And the reason that they're doing that is because, everybody always sat there and wondered, how are these guys getting these things? How is Citadel Security able to work, with everyone else, derivatives, all these things, and not get caught? Well, it's because they're able to sit there and do these transfers with each other through, your State Street, the biggest fucking crooks of them all, 70 of them. So they're able to sit there and, trade with their subsidiaries, through this thing illegally. I know everyone just wants me to go up to Citadel. Hold on. But I mean, look at all these. Look at these people with just, JP Morgan. It's almost all the banks that you see have multiples. It's just disgusting. And it's like, oh, but Citadel. Obviously, Citadel. It's got Citadel, Citadel, Citibanks. So it's just like, just some more garbage. BNP, we see, I've talked about them plenty in old videos, how they're just biggest crooks in the world here. So BlackRock, no, every one of their subsidiaries. I mean, it's definitely something that I think people should start looking into a little bit. I'm gonna look way more into this, but I think this is the way that they were able to, honestly, they're borrowing, like it says, borrow from the DTC. That's the DTC right there. They're the vault. So hopefully that explained the process to everybody. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and look more and more into this. I'll post all of these links on the bottom. But definitely something to look into, you guys. But thank you for listening. Appreciate it. I have a couple more videos coming out. One's going to be on dark pools. I should have that out tomorrow. And I got a couple more videos coming out on a couple more manipulation like this that I found. Thank you for listening, and always remember, guys.
There's never back to Joe Rogan. I'm trying to get some crack rocks.